everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Health Talks with Holly. I appreciate you coming on today, and I wanted to continue with our talk on oversexualization and body shaming. Yes, it is very prevalent in our society today, and it also have some historical background. And I also showed a picture maybe a week or two ago for Black History Month, and it was shedding light on Sarah Bartzman. And she was a lady from Africa, and she endured a lot at a young age, and she ended up passing. And research was done on her body early 2000s, 2002, sent her body parts back to her remains back to her homeland, and so she can be properly buried. And that's what happened. She was properly buried in her homeland. Steatopedia is what she actually had, but they thought it was so unique because she had large buttocks and she had large hips, and they wanted to have that body type paraded around and entertain others. They humiliated her, they embarrassed her, and she just endured a lot of pain and suffering and died in an early age. That's the thing too with body shaming and being oversexualized is the context. You can be going about your life thinking, okay, I'm doing this the right way, or I'm living my life to the best of my knowledge. And there's going to be this evil spirited person that looks at you and take everything that's bubbly and happy about you and be judgmental about it and start to body shame you. Oh, your butt too big, your hips too big, all that stuff. Then turn around and try to put you on display like you are some type of experiment. It happened then and it's happening now. But a lot of people are now doing it to themselves. A lot of people are going cosmetically under the knife and having things added and taken away. And I just want to encourage you to know the history behind it because it's also a mental thing. And if you're not mentally prepared for what you're doing, then you will get it. You will change the outside and the inside will never be where it needs to be. So you will be broken on the inside trying to fix on the outside. So make sure that your inside is aligned with your outside as well. And for the ones that naturally have it, you may have built up a resilience. And it's not your fault that you are made the way you were made. You are beautifully and wonderfully made in the eyes of the Lord. So other people may, again, take that out of context. I have had people say, oh, you have bedroom eyes, and I can sit around here with a potato sack on and big clothes, and it doesn't matter. People will find a way to oversexualize you, and I'm just like, how? I'm just looking at you and you took that out of context. And so sometimes people will do that. And I know some people that will victim blame you and say, it's your fault. You should have never dressed that way. You never should have looked that way. You should have never did this and you should have never did that. Just to make you feel bad about who you are, but God made you unique. And just like with Sarah Bartman, God made her unique, but people took what was good and try to turn it into evil. But God can turn what is evil and turn it into good. Whatever the enemy meant to harm you, God is going to always turn it around for your good. And that's what was going on. So that's the historical meaning behind it. And for my personal journey, I remember just being in elementary school and little boys would get behind me and they'll be like, oh, rushing. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Just so they can bump into me and be like, oh, I'm behind Holly. I got Holly. And at the time, I was just like feeling very uncomfortable. And now I know that was sexual assault even as a youth. And then it just continued to go in layers. And so I have been a victim of sexual assault. I have been a victim of body shaming. Oh, you're too big, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you too this, you too that. You named it. I have heard it. And so I have learned how to be resilient and learn how to understand that God made me the way I am. And I love that. God didn't make a failure. And what God makes is beautiful. What God makes is perfect. So I'm perfect in God's image. And I am so happy to know that. In the space I am now, I am able to accept whatever people say and do, whatever, because I love me. So if I post a picture, if I go somewhere out in an event, or if I do something, I love me. And I'm going to always consult with God and ask God, okay, God, is this your best for me? And if this is God's best for me, then it will prevail, because only God's will prevail. And so I have to take that into account. So it was humiliating. It made you what made me in that moment made me feel uncomfortable. And I used to like start eating a lot, and I thought eating a lot will make people stop judging me or it'll make them go away. But in actuality, it made me feel bad. And I thought it was some type of, but I used it, and I thought I used it as a defense mechanism. If I gain this weight, they'll go away. Or if I lose this weight, then they will love me better. But at the end of the day, all it did was make me stress out. And then I walked around with an inflamed body because I'm full of cortisol. And that's what that is, like that stress hormone. So I'm walking around stressed out because of what other people feel about me. And what should I do? Or I could have a 3-piece suit on and people will be out, literally women and men will be in the hallway, after the interview or the conference, looking and judging me like, ooh, what's she doing with all that? And I'm just like, it made me feel uncomfortable because I'm used to the men doing it. But now it's on another level, so it's like, okay, wait a minute. I've learned how to be resilient and not listen to those things in and take it for what it is, because you if you have ears, you're going to hear it, but you have to be mindful of how you respond, because if you respond in a negative way, that's what's going to happen. Negativity going to continue to build up. So I learned how to understand that's a them problem and not a me problem. I am wonderfully made by God. So if God made you, he made me. So I'm just unique. I got some unique features that stand out and make you judge me. People will judge you for your uniqueness, and you can have short hair, long hair, different skin tone, hair texture. You could be body shamed for anything. To give you some biblical perspective, just think about certain people that are in the Bible that was oversexualized or body shamed. And one that comes to mind is Samson. Samson was very muscular, and he was, strong in stature, and he was very attractive. But the Philistines wanted to fight him and underestimate his abilities. They were like, we got to know how he's so big and strong. Again, body shaming him. Like, how are you so big and strong? And they wanted to get the secret formula. So here go the person that they put in there. It's Delilah. She's not on his team, and so she wants to understand, why are you so strong? And so she tried to manipulate him several times until he fessed up on his actual secret to why he's so strong. So you see this lady, she's over sexualizing the man. So women and men, this can be done too. She actually went through all the things, and unfortunately, Samson, he gave in to her and told her his actual secret, and the Philistines wanted to fight him, and it cost him his life. But the next person I want to speak on is Bathsheba. And Bathsheba, a lot of people may not understand or really went into context, but I did hear a little bit, and I just felt like in this scenario she was sexually assaulted. If she was outside taking a bath, washing her face, whatever she was doing, she was practicing self-care at that time. And here goes David, and he's like, oh, she's beautiful, I gotta have her. He get what he wants. And in this context, then now they're like, she was seducing him. So victim blaming. It's your fault. You should have never went out there and took you a bath or washed your face. How dare you go wash your face and take you a bath? You were seducing this man. That's terrible, because that's unfortunately what happened. Victim blaming, oversexualized, sexually assaulted. And that's pretty much the scenario with Bathsheba from my perspective. That are coming to mind are the Tamars. They was overlooked, rejected, body shamed, and oversexualized. One, she wanted the approval of her father-in-law. So she pretty much married every last one of the sons. All the sons died. That left the father-in-law. She tricked him into having intercourse with her, and then guess what? She gets pregnant and have children by him. She was always overlooked. And even one of the brothers, when he was living, he purposely didn't want to give her a baby. And so it was like, oh, you're getting older. Oh, you had my other brother. So I can kind of tell the type of thoughts and stuff they may were having because the way they was treating her. And so then the father-in-law tried to deny he ever slept with her. And all that rejection, body shaming, all those things led her to self-harm. In this scenario, she's self-harmed because she's like, I'm gonna get what I want, and I don't care what it costs me. And that's what she did. And my final thoughts and perspectives and solution is a manipulative, predatory behavior from people from all different backgrounds. In most cases, it attempts to make the victim question her self-esteem and purpose in life. Body shaming can result in people exaggerating their appearance or cosmetically changing their appearance and self-mutilating themselves in order for approval from others. Oversexualizing someone because they are beautiful, petite, have long or short hair, curvaceous, can cause negative stereotypes and maladaptive behaviors and responses. Body shaming and oversexualization is never okay. To go deeper, it's not okay when we do it to ourselves, and it's not okay when other people do it to us, because this can be trauma, and then sometimes it can be like you start bonding with these people and start building connections just to feel appreciated. One must self-reflect to make sure they are not idolizing a personality disorder by default or nature, like histrionic personality disorder, that's called HPB, where the person, they may have been sexually assaulted, or they may have been through so much trauma because of their appearance to where they feel like they have to keep their appearance on display because that's how they get the attention they may or may not want. The objective is to achieve comprehensive spiritual and mental well-being through holistic acceptance of yourself and body positivity, aiming to inspire others and attain inner contentment and happiness. For the manipulators, this is a solution, or some solutions that you can look into. You should take a good look in the mirror and self-reflect upon yourself. Dig deep on any traumas or any vices that you may have, any traits, all of those things. Really research that and look within. Even if you have to get a counselor, go to your pastor, go to a close friend that you can trust, talk to someone about the feelings that you are having. Also, if you are into like pleasurable things like the P word, watching the P movies, those movies can make you imitate it in real life. So if you see certain characters in that P word movie, them shows that people like to watch to pleasure themselves, then you may see people that may remind you of those shows, and then you start acting out your behaviors on people, and they're just like, why are they so attracted to me? Because you may remind them of somebody. So that's harmful. Also, engage in positive distractors such as reading, outdoor activities, positive affirmations to yourself and others. If it helps, take a break from anything that hinders your personal and spiritual growth. Survivors, because you are a survivor. If you're enduring this and getting through it, you are a survivor. And continue to love on yourself. Continue to do what you need to do. You can post that picture, and most definitely pray about it before you post it. Pray before you post. That's how I have to do things now. So with that being said, like I said, pray before you post. And not only that, understand that there are, like these monitoring spirits, or these people that may be trying to antagonize you or hurt you by default. And you don't even have to you can just show an elbow and people are like, oh, wow, that elbow is X, Y, and Z. Body shaming can come in so many different forms. So it's just sad, but it happens. It's not a you problem. It's a them problem. And I don't want you to feel like you have to stay in a box because other people haven't worked with their own self-traumas. But if you know you are doing it out of self-hate, mutilation of yourself, self-harm, then make sure that you change your perspective on that. So I also want to encourage you to seek counseling, a pastor, someone you can trust, so you can talk to them as well. Make changes if you need to, and you have to, like if it's an emergency, that's fine. But if you don't need to make those changes, don't make all these different changes to your appearance. Make those changes from within. No matter your size, complexion, hair texture, your lifestyle, you still deserve respect, and you deserve love, and to be understood and not taken advantage of. Always be alert of your surroundings online and offline. Predatory behaviors. And so just be very alert, keep your head on a swivel. And that's about it for that. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully these are some solutions and some encouragement for you today.